Hey everybody, welcome back to Sean and Jill See the World. Our latest trip took us back with Celebrity Cruise Lines on the Celebrity Millennium. It was a little more exotic. We went from Mumbai with a couple nights in Sri Lanka, then through Thailand and Malaysia, ending up in Singapore. This whole cruise was all about wildlife and temples. Now, we're going to start off with the room. On the Millennium, it's a slightly older ship, but it also had this interesting extra large ocean view cabin. As you can see, it's quite large. It goes perpendicular to what you usually get. So you usually get long and skinny. Now we got wide and it's kind of skinny. It's a little odd shape. Big comfortable bed as always is what you would expect with a Celebrity. The only thing we found is this little area at the end here. It's almost like they weren't sure what to do with it. They could have put a big chair, a big couch, but it just ended up being a big space. But it did give us a lot of room to move around, we'll say. Now, in a room this long, I would have thought there might have been two portholes, but nope, there's just the one, which is fine. You can see it. We're right at the front of the ship. It was nice because we were so far away from anything. Normal amount of storage. Pretty standard bit. Bathroom for ocean view room. Shelving in there for old man pills. Toilet, whatever. So we started our cruise. We picked up the boat in Mumbai. We made sure we got there a day early, and you're going to want to if you're in Mumbai. It is there's a lot of paperwork. Getting around, even just customs takes forever. We stayed at the Taj Mahal Palace. We wanted to make sure that we were in a good, safe place with lots, with food and that we could eat and not get sick before, this long cruise. So we spent the extra, and it was definitely worth it. They even threw in this little carriage ride along the seashore. Luckily for the horses, they don't use horses anymore. This is an electric carriage. But a lot of times we were wondering, maybe there's not enough steel between us and the rest of the world. As you can see, they had lots of little ceremonies and things. This is actually basically a lobby to go to the pool. Yes, that is how do you get to the pool? Everything there is just over the top opulent is the only way you can describe it. Food was good, room was good, service is unbelievable. They curve all of your shuttle needs right through the hotel. Our first night was first stop was actually in Goa. Now this doesn't look very Indian, but they were actually not part of Britain. They were part of Portugal. Then they're also very private. You cannot take video. You cannot take pictures. These are all I could kind of manage before someone was yelling at me. Some guard was yelling at me to put the camera away. We did see, there's not a whole lot there. There's a bunch of churches, a few things to see. But it was worth, I would say it's worth the stop. But this, because of the traffic, this is how you see a lot of it. Just walking along, looking for something, anything to kind of pique your interest. But we did get to visit the beach. This is a typical beach in the Goa, and I guess this area is known for their beaches. It wasn't overly busy. The water is like bathtub warm, so that was nice anyway. Our second stop was in Colombo. So the boat got in early, and we got to do a little extra exploring. Took a tuk-tuk around the whole city. Highly suggested be very careful, though. They will do their best to remove you of some of your extra money. Now, this is one of the temples. The second temple we went to, this was through the ship. I think the lady here in white was very happy to take people's pictures and things. I think if we hung around, she would have been looking for a donation. We were there in time to see one of the ceremonies. All in all, a very interesting part of the trip. Very busy. It was the Chinese New Year. So people were there doing on their day off kind of thing. Making sure they participated. It did get quite busy. Even the monks needed a rest. What was nice though is that Celebrity did bring on some local dancers to put on a show that night in the theater. I like it when they do that. It makes it just feel a little more like you're seeing just a little bit more, because you don't always get as much time as you'd like in the theaters. Now, the next day in Colombo was all about going to see some elephants. Now, it's a fair drive. Everybody be aware of this. It's at least an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. And be very selective in the tour that you package that you pick, because we saw plenty of elephants. So kept in little cages. We made sure we went to in the elephant orphanage, all rescued from either the wild industry. Yes, I know we paid a couple of dollars to pet them, but when this elephant decided you could do, the handler said there's enough. Yep, even I got in to scratch one. Now this is what we call the Flintstone shower. Jill, of course, was the only one willing to participate. They do provide a shower for you to clean off in after. We knew something like this may happen, so we were both wearing bathing suits, just in case. Now, after her shower, we were invited to, for a couple of dollars,
likes his stuff.
Give the guy
Yum, yum, yum.
Jill made friends with this guy. Now, the next day we went to Hambantota. Again, it is a long drive, and there is nothing there at all. So if you do not get an excursion, you're not going to see anything. There is nothing to walk to. It is hours until you see anything, and even this took us like 45 minutes to an hour to get to this park. This is in Yala. We went looking for leopards. We did not see leopards. Now, as you can see, when wildlife is found, all the trucks, they will congregate. It wasn't like this all the time, but prepare that this is going to happen, some of the time. But they do their best to let you see something. Move out of the way for each other. They go ahead and communicate where they have found the animals and try to make sure everybody gets to see something. No, we didn't see the leopards, but we did see a number of wild elephants, which honestly were completely unbothered by our presence. Now the next day, we had a sea day because we were on our way over to Phuket. So I thought, well, let's take a look around the ship. So we'll start here. This is the Sky Lounge. Now the Sky Lounge during the day held trivia and some other kind of games. Now it did become an obsession of mine to win as many of these games as we can, and it was great. This is on the back of the boat, just behind the buffet. It was a nice little sunny place to have a drink. There is room to have shade. It was sometimes busy, sometimes not, but it was a nice place to sit, let's say. Pretty standard buffet. Food was quite good. Always had some pizza hanging around. Not much else to say. It's a buffet. It's busy. We didn't eat here a lot. We tend to like to eat in the main dining room. Now they did try to serve you because they did start to have a bit of an outbreak, and they did their best to keep you safe. What else can do what they can? But everybody, just wash your hands, please. When you go through, you'll end up out on the main pool deck. Because it was a sea day, they of course had a bit of a party going on. As you can see, they had some of the staff out doing their introductions and the like. Now this is, I skipped most of the shops. Everybody knows what stores look like. Every ship has it. Aisle full of expensive watches and jewelry. Then there was the future cruise deck. Now this here, they had like a gelato bar to your right, and over on the left, where we're going to walk past, is the what they call the gourmet coffee. Now they did not have Starbucks on this ship, which is fine with me, one way or the other. But they did, if you wanted a decent cup of coffee, they would make you one there. Now when you pass through these doors coming up, there's just a short little walk, and you'll see there is, we're almost at the rear of the boat. This is the Cellar Masters. This was kind of the premium bar on the ship. You can get slightly higher end cocktails. Jill and I went there a couple of times. Most of the time we retired and we were fine with just the pool bar or the ice bar, which I'll show you in a minute. That there is Sushi on 5, where they did Japanese style food. Most days they actually had a couple pop-ups there. This is deck 4, just one down. This is the ice bar. We had many good drinks there. The bar right there on the right is actually made of frozen. It's ice. Now through there's a theater where they Next day, this is Phuket. We were up on the hill, did a bit of sightseeing. Again, we only have one day, so there's only so much you can see in one day. There's the Buddha on the hill. After that, we went through town, saw a couple of things, but my highlight was the beach bar, walking the beach. Pad thai on the beach with a beer. Who can complain? Now this is Penang. We were at the top of Penang Hill, which has beautiful overlooks. Now make sure you buy your passes well in advance, or you're not going to get up there. There's temples there, which are absolutely stunning. Same thing, you need tickets. Make sure you get them ahead of time. Then they had a whole row. That is not a person, that is street art. It's wonderful. This is what many of the streets look like. Then Kuala Lumpur, another one of our must-do stops. These are the Batu Caves. If you're ever in Kuala Lumpur, make the trip to the Batu Caves. Now there's felt like 2,000, but there was like 200 something stairs to get into these massive caves inside where the Hindu temples, which you can't even, it's almost impossible to describe. Just full of people, full of history, and it's amazing. We ended our trip up in Singapore, as you can probably tell by these are the mega trees. 1,000,000% recommend going to visit that area if you can. And then we went inside and it happened to be like a Jurassic Park kind of theme thing going on. All the animatronics. It's quite interesting, as well as they had flower gardens and you name it. It was just unbelievable what they've put there for you to see. All super reasonable. The best thing about Singapore is everything is right on their subway line. All you need to do is buy a day pass, and even the stops are all labeled as what they are. If you want to go to the mega trees, go to the mega tree stop. We stopped here in the main road, had a beer, had a drink before we headed off for the end of our trip through the Jewel, which again, is something you need to see. See you next time.